Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really easy baby blanket. Hey y'all, so this is my first video of the year, believe it or not, and I hope your year is starting out great. Today I'm going to show you how to make this easy granny square baby blanket. I had someone reach out to me, wanting me to make one for them, and so I decided to make it for them and then also show you how to do it. Now this one here you see does have a line backing. I won't go into details on how to do the line backing, but I may do it in another video. So you will need to be comfortable doing a double crochet stitch and changing yarn colors, which I will show you in this tutorial. For the border, you're going to need to be comfortable doing a single crochet, a half double crochet. So I'll show you how to do that as well. The tutorial itself is about 20 minutes or so, but the first 10 minutes will get you started on how to do it. Now, if you want to learn how to do the border, or if you want to learn how to change the yarn color, then continue watching the video until the end and I'll show you how to do those steps. But the initial video is going to get you started and how to do the actual granny square blanket. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I did was I used a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Now you would just use a crochet hook that is in line with the yarn that you are using, so it could vary based off of your yarn, and I'm just using a basic 4-weight yarn. Okay, go ahead and make yourself a slip knot and place that on your crochet hook, and then we'll get started. Okay, you can either do a magic circle here, which I won't show you how to do a magic circle, but you can do a magic circle. I am simply going to do a chain of 4, and then I'm going to slip stitch that chain of 4 together to create a circle. Okay, so in the very first stitch that you created that's furthest away from your hook, you're going to insert your crochet hook. Okay, just like that. And then you're going to do a slip stitch. So basically just you wrap the yarn around your crochet hook and pull it back through both of the loops that are on your hook. That is going to create a circle, which is what you're going to work through to begin this project. Okay, so just kind of pull it apart. You will have to kind of work with it a little bit until you can see the circle, but just remember that is where we're going to be working through. Okay, so now you're going to just do a chain of 3. So chain 3, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and do it one more time for a total of 3. This chain of 3 will count as your first double crochet. Okay, so you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to insert your crochet hook into that circle that we've identified. You'll have 3 loops on your crochet hook. Yarn over, pull through the top 2, leaving 1 loop. Yarn over, pull through the bottom 2. Okay, and do it again. Yarn over, insert your crochet hook, pull back through. You'll have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through the top 2. Yarn over, pull through the bottom 2. All right, so at this point you've kind of made a cluster of 3. Remember, the chain of 3 was your first double crochet, and then you created 2 more double crochet stitches. All right, now we're going to do a chain of 2. Right, and then back into that circle, the same circle we just worked in, we're going to do our another set of double crochet stitches. Okay. So let's go and do our first one. Okay, and then we'll do 2 more. So again, wrap the yarn around your crochet hook, place that through the circle, yarn over, pull through the top 2, and then yarn over and pull through the bottom 2. And one last time. We're going to essentially do this 2 more times, because what we're doing is we're creating a square, and you'll see it as it starts shaping up a little bit more. Okay, so once you've completed that last double crochet stitch, you're going to do a chain of 2. And I've seen granny square stitches done very different ways. This is the way I do it. Okay, so once you've done your chain of 2, back into the circle you go, creating your other set, another set of 3 double crochets. Okay guys, and also remember, if you ever are doing a YouTube tutorial and you need to slow down the video, there is an option. I know on your laptops and your computers, it's like a little gear shift. You can just click that and then click on playback speed. You can slow down the video as well as speed it up. So that helps if something's going too slow or something's going too fast. That kind of helps with tutorials. As far as on your iPhones or your telephones, there's usually 3 little dots in the upper corner. I'm not sure if it's always like that, but there's usually 3 little dots. It will take you to the same menu that will allow you to do the playback speed of either speeding it up or slowing it down. So I find that helpful when I'm trying to learn something, to have that option. Okay, so go ahead and continue making your last set of 3 double crochet clusters, because that's the goal here. Again, we're trying to make a square, and so you need to have those clusters created in order to get everything started, because this is the foundation for the blanket. Okay, so here we're at the very end. We've done all of our sets. You're going to do another chain of 2. And then you're going to slip stitch into the very first chain of 3 that we created. I try to get towards the top there so that it feels really more stable or secure. So insert your crochet hook kind of towards the top of that chain of 3. I try to have a little, like I say, get a good place, and then you'll want to slip stitch to join, and that is going to create your square. So this is not like, you have to do it this specific way, but just try to get it so that you have a nice finished product. Okay, go ahead and make yourself a chain of 3, and again, this chain of 3 here, and always when we get to the end of the square, will serve as your first double crochet in this project. Okay, now I do just turn my square to the other side. So basically I will be flipping back and forth. That way it just kind of stays nice and even as I work around. I work in the hole behind, if that makes sense. So I did the chain of 3, I've turned my work, and now I'm going to do my double crochet stitches. Now here's something I want you guys to realize. We're working a corner. When you make a square, squares has 4 corners. We're creating the corner. So in order to do that, you do your cluster of 3, your 3 double crochet stitches. I'm going to make a chain of 3 right here. Okay, the chain of 3 is going to serve as that bend in the corner. So right back into that same hole that we just created our cluster of 3, we are now going to do 3 more double crochet stitches. Okay, you only do this step, guys, when you're getting to the corners of your blanket, when you get to the corners of the blanket. So I'll show you again, but this is how we create the corners. So if you see here, you have your cluster of 3, a chain of 3, and a cluster of 3 double crochet stitches in the same space. See? Now go ahead and chain 2. We're going to lead over to that next corner. Okay, because again, this isn't large enough that we have to make any clusters in between the corners. We're just building it out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a cluster of 3 double crochet stitches. We've done that already a few times, so this should be getting easier for you. Okay, all right, now that you have your 3 completed, do a chain of 3. So for every corner, you're doing a chain of 3. I just think it makes the corners look a little bit more uniform and square to me. So that's why I do a chain of 3. Okay, I'm just getting some yarn so that we can keep working. Now you've done your chain of 3, and into that same space that you just created your other set of double crochet stitches, you're now going to do 3 more double crochet stitches. See, there's 1. You'll do 2 more. This is going to grow out, and it's going to grow out so easily. This blanket works up really quickly, especially if you use a bulkier yarn. Okay, so here we are now. You can see we have the bottom corner done, and we have the top right corner done. Chain 2, and that's going to lead us to our next corner. All right, you're going to do your 3 double crochet stitches. I'm working kind of fast here because I feel like you've gotten the hang of it, and I don't want to just keep, because this is a very repetitive pattern. Okay, you're going to chain 3, and then right back into that same space as the previous cluster of 3, you're going to do 3 more double crochets. And I'm calling it a cluster. So 3 double crochets together, I'm calling it a cluster. All right. See, now you have 3 corners created. Chain 2. And then in your next corner, you're going to do the same thing. Okay, that's 2. You do 1 more double crochet for a total of 3. Perfect. Chain 3. Into the same space, you're going to do 3 more double crochets. All right, looking good. All right. Now you have completed 4 corners, but we need to seal this off. We need to make everything connect. So we're going to do a chain of 2 because what we've done at the bottom, we're going to do at the top. And now you're going to slip stitch to join to that first chain of 3, which is what we considered our first double crochet. Okay, so again, like before, kind of get towards the top of that chain of 3. You want to create stability and you want it to be sturdy. And so try to make sure you get it through a nice stitch. You don't want it to be flimsy there, okay? Slip stitch to join. And there you have it. You have a nice little square. You've essentially created the same design all the way around. So what's happening at the top is happening on both sides, which is also happening on the bottom. Now, as you can tell here, my center is gray in this moment. The blanket actually has a pink center. Unfortunately, that pink does not film as well as I wanted it to, so I created a smaller size for this gray so that you could see exactly how to create basically the whole pattern for this project. Okay, so I'll go ahead and show you my pattern here. I did 2 rounds of pink, 8 rounds of gray, 3 of pink, 5 of gray, 3 of pink, 3 of gray, for a total of 24 rounds. This blanket is 31 by 32 inches, which is a standard baby size blanket. Again, this is completely customizable. You can change your colors, you can change your size. It's whatever you feel like doing for your project. So let me show you how to get to the next round, but technically this is how you do the project and you don't have to stay on camera with me. Go ahead and flip your square over. You're going to do 3 clusters. Now you see here we're not in a corner, so we're going to chain 2 to get us to the corner, and then in that corner, that's what we're going to do what we've already been doing, which is 3 double crochet stitches, 3 double crochet stitches. You're going to then do a chain of 3. So go ahead and do 3 double crochet stitches. Okay, then you're going to do a chain of 3, which allows you to make that corner. Okay, all right, and then you're going to do 3 more double crochet stitches right there in the corner there. So every time your blanket gets wider or bigger as it grows, you will have to work double crochets that are not clusters that are not in the corner. Okay, so we did 1 single set of double crochet stitches. We got to the corner. Now we're here in that open space. It's not the corner, remember, so you're going to do a chain of 2, and then you're going to do 3 double crochet stitches right there. So remember, this is not the corner, this is just our project, the row of our project. Okay, so go ahead and do 3 double crochet stitches. I hope this isn't confusing. All right, perfect. Chain 2, because that chain of 2 is going to take you on over to the corner. Okay, and we're just doing the same thing. 3 double crochets, a chain of 3, 3 double crochets in the same spot. So I hope that's clear, because really, guys, that is how the blanket is created. You just keep going around and around, making corners and making rows until your granny square blanket, in this case, your granny square baby blanket, grows to the size that you want. Okay? All right. that's what it's looking like. So guys, just keep working at this point. I'm going to show you my pattern again, and then you're free to work on. Now, if you want to learn how to change the yarn color, or if you want to learn how to do the frilly end, you can keep watching. Otherwise, go ahead and get started. Enjoy your blanket. But yeah, so let's do that. I'm going to show you the pattern one more time. So as you see, we're getting started. We're not finished, but just keep going. This is the pattern one more time to create the blanket that you see over there on the right of the screen. Now, if you want to know how to change the yarn color, I've worked this quite a bit, obviously, as you can see here, and we're ready to change colors. I've changed colors, but I want to show you how to change colors. So this is what you'll do. Okay. At the spot that you're moving up to the next row, because you've completed a complete row, you're now going to change colors if you want to. If you want to keep it one color, I think that would be beautiful, and just keep doing that. Go ahead and do your chain of 2, slip stitch to that chain of 3 that you've been doing. You've done this already a ton of times, okay? At this point, go ahead and grab your new yarn. Just drape it right over the top of the crochet hook, just like you see there, and then just pull that new yarn through. And it's really easier said than done, I think. Once you have it pulled through, kind of get it tight. You want to make sure that it doesn't slip out. I'm just creating a tail here. And then you're going to just start crocheting. Just do a chain of 3, just like you've been doing, just like you would be doing if you were going to your new row. You're only doing it with a new color, okay? So go ahead and do a chain of 3. Turn your work and work right back in that hole to start your next row. That's really it, honestly. I tie these 2 strings together, the new yarn to the old yarn. I do tie those together to create, again, the stableness. I don't want it to fall apart. I do not have any issues putting little knots in my project. You cannot tell once everything's completed, but I do want it to stay together, stay intact, because it's a baby blanket, so you're going to want to wash it and do things with it, so you don't want it to fall apart for your new mommy, okay? So go ahead and just tie the 2 strings together. I did a double knot here, and then at the end of my project, I'll weave all these tails in, and it will be seamless, okay? So at this point, just continue working just like you've been doing, creating your next row until you complete the pattern, on whatever pattern that might be. If you're following mine, then until you get the number of rows that you need. Okay, and I stay on camera just a little bit here because obviously when we did the beginning of the tutorial, we didn't have that many open spaces to create double crochet stitches. So as you can see here, basically you are literally just doing clusters of 3 double crochet stitches in the open space, and then when you get to the corner, then you proceed doing what I showed you in the very beginning. So I hope this makes it a little bit more clear of me being on camera. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and let me show you how to do the border. So I did the border in 2 steps. You do not have to do step 1. So in my case, because I decided to sew a backing to this blanket, I went ahead and made a full round of single crochet stitches. That's why I said in the beginning, you'll want to know how to do a single crochet stitch. That's optional. As a matter of fact, if you can pick either one. You can do step 1 or step 2, where you just do a border all the way around of single crochet stitches, or you can just do the frilly border, which is the clusters of double crochet stitches. It's up to you. So again, the single crochet stitch basically is just inserting the crochet hook, pulling up the loop, yarning over and pulling through both loops. Okay, that's a single crochet stitch, and you could do that all the way around your project. That makes everything look a little bit more pulled together and a little bit more neater. Again, this is an optional step. You don't have to do this and the frilly border. I did it this way because, again, I decided to sew a backing to this project, and I needed a place for the sewing machine to grip the crochet fabric without it like falling in spaces. So I wanted to make sure I had enough border available to sew to. Okay, so go ahead and do that if you choose to, a single crochet stitch all the way around, and that will also finish out the project nicely. You can pick another color. You don't have to do it in gray if you choose to do that, okay? However, if you want to do more frilly border, a frill or a, I don't know the other word I'm looking for, but if you want to look a little bit more decorative, like you see here, I decided to do 3 stitches in the same space. So in my case, I did a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet in the same space. You guys, that's so optional. If you wanted to, you can just do 3 or 4 double crochets in the same spot. The goal here is just to create that frilly look, that, you know, that really cute little look that you see on baby blankets. So it's really up to you. In my case, like I said, what I did is at the corner, I just did a, in each stitch around, I just did a double crochet stitch, and then I did a half double crochet stitch, see there, and then I did a single crochet stitch. And that's what I did all the way around. And I'll be honest with you, this probably took just as long as making the entire blanket because there were so many stitches, but it was so satisfying. I was at the end. I knew it was going to be done soon, and I didn't mind it at all because it kind of brought the whole project together to look really nice. So that is an optional step for you. You don't obviously have to do it. I'm going to stay on camera a little bit longer just so that you can see how it kind of shapes up a little bit more. And I'll show you how I end it. So that's what it'll look like. I like it. It really makes it look pretty. And also, actually, if you wanted to look even more, you know, exaggerative or whatever, you can go around one more time doing the same thing, you know, make it even more frilly. Okay. So here we're at the end. We've our ends have met up. I still have a small space there. So what I've done is I've just did a double crochet and a half double crochet. I'm just trying to close in that gap so that it looks like a really complete project. Okay. This is optional too. It depends on how yours looks. I want it to look really nice and rounded and complete. So once I get it to a place that I like the way it looks, I'm going to just slip stitch to the top of that the neighboring stitch, just like we have been doing through the entire project. And then I will slip stitch to join the rounds. That's it. I will finish off my project, creating a small knot there at the end. And then I will weave in all of my ends. So here I'll weave it in here. And then I'll also weave in all the little tails throughout my project. Key thing here, just want to make sure that you kind of line up your yarn. If you have a tail for a pink color, just weave it through the pink area. And if you have yarn for the gray area, then you want to weave it through the gray area. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Totally a preference. It's up to you how you choose to finish off your project, but this is how I do it to make it look really neat. Okay, so guys, that is it. If you stuck with me this whole time, this was almost a 30-minute video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. If you're not subscribed, please take the time to do that. And the pattern will be over on my website, ahselland.com, so that you can pick it up and do it at your leisure. You'll know what colors I use and the number of rounds I did for each row. And this is what it looks like with the backing. Again, I will show you how to do that in another video. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay blessed, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.